forms of sexism, and now we will be highlighting one form of sexism, sexism in the workplace. Good afternoon, thank you for coming. Were you able to bring the work history resume that I asked for?
Yes, I did. I have that right here with me. Here you go.
Here it is.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me just look at it 1 second. I said that it doesn't have the salary history. Can I have that as well?
Sure, yeah, I have that right here.
Yeah, here's this.
Thank you so much. This is why I wanted to consider having a female for this position. They have the same history, but she seems to be getting paid a lot less than him. We can definitely do this. Thank you so much for providing this. And thank you for coming for the interview. I just have a quick couple of questions that I want to go over with you. One of them is, we are an engineering company, and part of it is that we do a lot of traveling and we have extended different types of hours. Would that be an issue? The traveling, the being able to, stay late, work with big projects, would that be an issue for you?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm able to travel for work, although I prefer not to travel as much because I have 3 young ones at home. But my wife is at home, so she can stay with them. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I should be able to travel as long as it's occasionally.
Traveling shouldn't be a problem. My husband is home a lot, so he can stay home with our kids. We have 3 young kids, but they're all, like I said, they're young, so I prefer to not travel as much, but if it's necessary, it's doable.
Okay, so he's very open to moving, especially with his wife at home, so that's good. But about her, I'm not sure. It just seems like I'm not open to hiring somebody that's willing to leave their children at home or always calling out because of something that happens at home. I have to think about this one. Thank you for sharing that. Thanks. Definitely. And part of our interviews are that I'll ask you a scenario and you'll tell me the best way you would deal with it. And then from there, we would talk about group dynamics. So part of our scenario is, imagine that you're here on a Monday and our shipping didn't come. So we don't have shipping labels and we do have shipping material. Our vendor didn't send it. It doesn't, but we did get a confirmation that it's tracking that it was sent. How will you deal with that? How would that come about?
I think in that scenario, I would find out who the vendor was, find out if the shipments were placed or not. Once I find out all that information, I would report back to you or whoever my supervisor is with that information.
Okay, so in that event, what I would probably do is go try to find out to see who the vendor was, who was supposed to deliver those shipments, and I would contact the vendor and verify if those shipments actually went out, and if not, why not. And once I find my answer, I would come back to whoever my supervisor is, whether that be you or not, and let them know what the reasoning behind the late shipments were.
It just seems like she's willing to step over people. And I'm not sure if that's a good quality. That's a very bossy quality in this environment. But he seems to be a good leader and be able to go get her. That could save me a lot of headaches. Perfect. Okay. And you'll be part of a group. So how will you work with your other engineers, other group members? How would the group dynamics go?
Yeah, okay. So in that scenario, I think I am suited well to work in a group and team dynamics. I do like to work with others. I'm also consider myself a self-starter, so if I feel there's a gap between what needs to be done and what's being done, I'll fill in that gap. So in answer to your question, I work well with others, but I also can be an individual and just excel on my own if that's what needs to happen.
As far as working with a group, I think that I can excel in that. I'm really good at finding, taking initiative and finding what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. As well, I'm also a self-starter. I excel doing solo projects, but, I do well in group situations as well.
I wonder just how much time she's gonna spend gossiping with others. That really scares me if she doesn't have that much boundaries with other workers, especially being a male-populated environment. But with him, he has good dynamics and he can be very respected with other engineers. So I think we're gonna go with him. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all I need to know for today. Thank you so much, and we'll be calling you.
As a future social justice worker, I like to pledge right now that I'm going to be aware of my privilege in this patriarchal society and be able to speak out against sexism whenever I encounter it, either in my personal life or in my professional life.
And as a future social justice worker, I pledge that I will stand up to sexism when I see it in a public place, given that the situation is a safe situation for me to speak my mind.
And I pledge that I will stand up against sexism with my family and educate my own family about the issues and judgments against sex.